Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Badger Loans podcast. This is part two of What is a Loan, and this is 5 great reasons to take out a personal unsecured loan. Consume, consume, consume. So says the watchword of the 20th and 21st centuries, and it really has kind of got into our bones, hasn't it? Spending money. So many things, we've made a whole world out of consumerism. Reason I mention it is because it's sort of, I wanted to know and get a feel for how much of it is conditioned into us to spend. How much of it do we actually need? We need little, very little, really. It's all conditioning and advertising and marketing constantly at us, on and on and on. So now we know where we want a loan. Let's look at some reasons to have one. Number one, and I was quite surprised to discover that the number one reason these days for people taking out loans is debt consolidation. So you're taking out a loan to pay off all the other loans that you've taken out. I mean, it is a good reason. It wasn't a good reason maybe 15 or 20 years ago. Debt consolidation loans, you were perceived to be a bad risk because you couldn't manage your money because you needed a loan to pay off the others. Now it's a perfectly valid and perfectly acceptable reason to take out a loan. So that's number one, debt consolidation. Take out, and it works. That's the thing, because you'll find that you're probably getting a lower interest rate. You've got a larger amount of money, a lower interest rate, probably over a longer period of time as you're putting all your eggs into one basket, so to speak. So it's a good idea if you've got several loans to look at the options, and there will be people giving deals on debt consolidation a bit like the same way that they do with credit cards and balance transfers. So that's reason number one. Oh, look, reason number two, paying off your credit cards. You're just taking out more debt to pay off more debt. And if it wasn't for the fact that we're allowed to make up funny money and call it interest, and it never existed before, but because I perceive that you may not do this and you may do that, I can charge you what I like, if I'm licensed to do that, of course, then hey presto, we have interest rates. Great idea. Paying off your credit cards is a good idea. It is a good reason to take out a loan. You tend to find that most personal loans are coming in at somewhere between 5 and 15%. You might be able to get them cheaper off your own bank if you're a superstar customer. A lot of credit cards start at around 15% and go up to 25, mainstream maybe 10 to 25%. The credit builder credit cards, of course, are a lot more expensive, and they'll be anything around the 35 to 45% mark. Vanquish, that's Provident. I know that they're up there around 35 because I've got one. And the difference between putting a balance on my Vanquish card as opposed to putting a balance on my Nationwide credit card, well, guess which one gets all the credit? Nationwide, because they're like 12% as opposed to Vanquish's 37%, something like that. And the difference in monthly repayments is staggering, absolutely staggering. But there we go. So reason number two to take out an unsecured personal loan, pay off your credit cards. And a good thing too. Number three, home improvements. But lots of things in home improvements, and at least it's something to smile about, and it's something for you. It's something that you're going to spend the money on that's going to benefit you. Either you're going to have an immediate benefit by the nice thing that you're going to enhance your life with, or it'll be a long-term benefit because the home improvement may add value to your property. You might want some new decking outside your back door, new kitchen, new bathrooms, all that kind of thing. So, of course, the main benefit of it being an unsecured loan is that should you be unable to pay, you're not going to lose your house. You lose your credit rating, you might get a county court judgment, but you won't lose your house. People will knock at your door though. Okay, number four, funeral expenses. Yeah, for real. We do have a welfare state in the UK. It does pay for an awful lot of things, but funerals isn't one of them. However, they will pay a certain amount, actually, I discovered in funerals. The government will pay certain benefits, and they will pay up to £1,000 towards some funeral costs. And you're going to need that, because funerals have, well, they're not like weddings yet. They certainly have become more and more expensive as time goes on, of course, as everything does. And Dignity Funerals now reckon that the average cost of a UK funeral is about £4,000. A lot of money. So if your parent or whoever you're burying has had a prepaid funeral plan and they've played into that, well, great, your luck's in, because you won't have to fork out your own pocket in order to put them in the ground. They probably haven't, though, so you are going to have to fork out of your own pocket to put them in the ground, and that brings us into personal loan country. So there we are. Reason number 4, funerals. Reason number 5, big ticket white goods, cars, holidays. And that's it. There's loads of reasons within there, isn't there? But really, those are the big ticket white goods, the bigger stuff for ourselves. Lots of people these days use things other than a personal loan to buy a car. Of course, there's various leasing types of lease that you can take out, but I'm pretty sure people still do HP on their car. I know my car was financed with a loan, just a straightforward loan. A loan is a loan is a loan, as we said in the last podcast. They're all the same, really. The only difference between one loan and another is the amount, the rate, and the length of time you've borrowed it for, and that's it. Might be secured or unsecured, but really it's amount, rate, and time. That's it. So, is it worth getting into debt for a great big freezer, big as your kitchen? Is it worth getting into debt for to have a nice car to drive around? Yeah, I mean, that's the world we live in, isn't it? You know, and we get into debt for everything these days. 50 years ago, it was a different story. Now, of course, very, very different. You're marketed at all the time. I'm sure they'd market you in your sleep if they could. Once people start having internet implants in their brains, they will be. So there we are. 5 reasons to take out a loan. We hope they're good reasons. Number 1, debt consolidation. Number 2, paying off your credit cards. Number 3, home improvements. Number 4, funeral expenses. And number 5, cars, holidays, and big ticket white goods. I hope that was of some use to you. If it was, come back for the next one. Thank you very much. Badger over and out. Goodbye.